Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trek Canon Bootleg Edition. I was thinking about making this a midnight edition, but I think it's been talked about so much that I can only add to the topic. But with this particular topic today, I didn't want to look at it from a moral standpoint only because that's been done a lot. I wanted to look at it through the lens of destiny and fate as defined by the words. So, the subject that I wanted to talk about just kind of briefly today was the Prime Directive. All right. Now, everybody knows what the Prime Directive in Starfleet is. All right. We are basically not going to interfere with the natural development and direction of a species. Now, excuse the cars going by, everybody. I was just sitting out here, like I said, just thinking about some things, and I can't stop the traffic. I'm not a Q. So, the Prime Directive has been throughout Starfleet and throughout Star Trek ever since the late 60s, okay? And we got an episode in Enterprise that basically showed the origins of why Archer introduced the idea of the Prime Directive in Star Trek. So I'm not really going to get into that. But I'm just going to talk about it, like I said, from not only a moral standpoint. I'm going to touch on that briefly, the moral aspect, but like I said, from fate and destiny. So I'm going to start this with an analogy. All right. So I decide to take a trip. I pack my bags, I get on a plane, and I go to a place that we know nothing about. Let's say I'm an anthropologist. Now, I arrive, I land and everything, and me and my team, we go out and we decide we're going to look for people and things that we can document and stuff like that. Now, on our travels, we come across a group of children in the forest, okay? These children have been there for a very long time. They've been unattended, they've had no adult supervision. It's basically a Lord of the Flies situation out there, okay? Except it's no teenagers. Everybody's under 12. Everybody's children. Now, as a team of anthropologists, we find this fascinating, all right? We want to document this. Maybe we'll go and we'll interact on a low level with the people, with the children and everything like that, figure out how they got here. Maybe ask them a few questions about, their names, learn a little bit about their culture and stuff like that. Now, while we are doing this, we find that they have a ritual where they're killing kids. All right, they're killing some of their citizens, their brothers and sisters of the culture. Now, the reason that they're doing this is because we'll say they're doing this because they figured that it would make the trees grow better. All right. Now, to them, this is their way. This is what they've been doing. All right. But to you, this is an atrocity because to you, you know better. All right. And when I say better, what I mean is that you have the experience and knowledge, okay, to have discovered that there is no correlation between sacrificing somebody and the trees growing better. All right. So you have two choices. Well, you have several choices, but We'll keep it simple, stupid. You have two choices. You can intervene and teach them why this isn't the way, okay? Or you can set aside your morality and look at it through the prism of I'm just a bystander and let this continue. All right. So that's the moral argument. Now, let's bring in fate and destiny. Of all the places that you could have went, all right, on your travels, this is where you ended up. A group of people with the knowledge to counteract something that is, to you or from your perspective, an atrocity or something unjust or something wrong, or as they like to say in SG1, something bad. All right. Now, let's look at it from destiny. All right. Future events happen in such a way to whereas you ended up in a place with some people who may have needed your help and didn't know it. Okay. So, do you enlighten these people or do you not? All right. Let's boil it down to something simpler. Let's say, for instance, I'm walking down the street and I see a kid getting ready to go into the street because he isn't aware that there's traffic. He doesn't know traffic exists. I see the bus coming. It's going to hit him if I allow this to happen. I am somewhere by happenstance where I have the ability to intervene. Okay? Now, we can say that the universe maybe wanted this person to get hit. But if that was the case, why did the universe introduce an element that not only had the ability to intervene, but had the drive and the morality structure to intervene? Why would the universe do that? So, if you introduce an element like that into a situation like that, then the outcome should be nothing other than what fate, destiny, and morality needed it to be, if you want to think metaphysically like that. So, when we think about the Prime Directive and how it's applied to civilizations and worlds and people and things of that nature, yes, there is a line that you can cross that would destroy the development of a civilization. We've had situations like that in the past. Okay, there is lines that you can cross, but the very fact that you are there, the very fact that you have the ability, and the very fact that you have the moral fortitude and foundation that you have, okay, doesn't that, if you believe in such things, cause you to act, at least in the very minimum? Okay, now let's switch it around. Let's flip it. Let's say, for instance, the Vulcans that was flying past our system at the time of first contact noticed the warp signature of Zephyr Cochrane's ship, the Phoenix. And they decided to come over, take a look, land, and realize that it was a fluke. It was just an experiment that this one person did on his free time, and that the state of the planet Earth was in no way ready to be part of any type of galactic community. All right? What if they decided, let's get back in our ships and go away? All right? How would Earth have fared then if the Prime Directive was applied to us? Okay? So, We can understand why the Vulcans did what they did as dictated in the series Enterprise. They took about 100 years to usher us into being ready to be part of the galactic community. Now, if we go under the assumption that Vulcans operate on pure logic, all right, yeah, I know we got those Vulcans that have fringe logic structures, as I'd say, you know, but if we go on the fact that generally Vulcans tend to look at things logically, all right, and without emotion, then we will have to assume that their interference or their guidance or mentorship, okay, and deciding not to apply a prime directive, something we apply to other children species or immature species, then where would we be? Okay, so there is a line. Now, is the prime directive right? Should the prime directive exist in Star Trek? I'm going to have to say yes, it does. Because some people don't know how far that line is, and they cross it, and their metrics for crossing it go beyond what it should be. We can call it arbitrary. So you have to have a standard, all right? Which is why when people break the prime directive, it's looked at, investigated, instead of it being a hard line type of thing. Okay, so I just wanted to chat a little bit about the prime directive and kind of how I thought about it and how it should be applied and why it's applied, um, and kind of the hypocrisy on a certain level that Starfleet has when it comes to other civilizations. But I can understand why. But if you see a person that needs help, and you have the ability to help, and you have the moral fortitude that's asking you to do so, okay, then not only morally, but through destiny and fate, if you believe in such things, all right, the universe or multiverse has introduced you as an element to probably correct some things. Okay, so just some things to think about. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, ring the bell, and as always, peace, recycle, and save the whales. You guys be cool.